Alright guys, welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to be talking about the Wraith Esports A series. You can see I have all three of them over here. So I just want to make an impressions video on them. This is not a review. I'm just releasing one now because I had issues with two of the pads. And there's going to be no content on these for a bit because people want to do their full reviews. So if you're someone that wants to buy these pads right now, you'll have an idea what you're getting. So I just want to start off with the things that are going to be the same across all three pads. So let's talk about the pour on bases. The base on each pad should be identical, I'm pretty sure, at least on the two 500x500 ones. And all the bases on every pad is amazing. They're the best bases I've had on any cloth pad except the Ernier Gecko. These pads stick to my desk. They don't move unless I try and move them really hard. So in terms of bases, you're going to be fine. And again, I just forgot to notice, I've only tested all these pads for a few days. I just want to make it clear, this is not a review. This is just impressions. All these pads are 3.5 millimeters thick, and the stitching is pretty good around all of them. You will just see a big spot on each of them where the stitching ends, but again, the stitching is fine. If you put them to the edge of your desk, you won't feel the stitching. So now let's get into these pads individually. This is the Storm lineup, the gray Storm one, and this pad is the one I had the most issues with. So because of this color, this pad, when you're using it where your palm rests, if you sweat at all, you will get a stain. You probably can't see it on camera, but there was a stain there. And I also, just from touching the pad when I was sweating, there was a stain right there, which I cannot get out. And there were plenty of other stains that went on this pad that I was able to get out. But something I noticed is this pad did get a bit slower, just a bit, from cleaning the stains off, which, because some pads you're not really supposed to wash, like, it's still pretty fast, but as you can see, it does slow down a lot. If you do use force, it's still pretty fast, but again, it definitely slowed down a little bit. I did most of my testing on these pads with this Pulsar X2F. This is a beta mouse, not released. I will make a video on this soon. And it just originally felt much faster before I had to clean it. So I would not recommend getting this color because it's going to stain, and the stains could also leave slow spots, and then if you clean the stains, it could mess up the pad. But this does come in black and black Storm, so those colors will be fine. When I initially started testing this surface, it felt great. The pad being slower after I washed it could be a placebo, and I could just be thinking that, but I'm pretty sure it was a bit faster. But again, even if you don't wash it, it's still going to have a ton of stains, so I just can't recommend this color. But when reviews come out on the black one, you'll see for yourself if that one's worth it. In terms of sizes, this comes in 480 by 430, and this is 500x500. Let's move on to the next pad. All right, this is the Storm pad. This is the control pad. This is the 480 by 430 millimeter size. It does come in a bigger size, and this pad only comes in black from what I've seen. So this is the soft slow pad. It still has some speed, but I said I had a problem with two of these pads. I don't really have a problem with it. It's just too slow for my main game of COD. So if you're playing a heavy tracking, fast-paced game, I can't recommend this. But when I was playing Splitgate, the Splitgate 2 Alpha with this, it actually felt fine. It felt really good for flicks. It just ended, so I couldn't do more testing on this pad, or then I would have done a full review. So from my impressions, if you're playing a game where you need a lot of control and you like a soft pad, I can recommend this. The surface does feel really nice. It just happens to be slow. And I do think all around with the base and the stitching, it is a solid pad. But again, it was just too slow for me to do full testing on. But let's get into the last pad. All right, this is the Serenity pad. This is in the pink color. This also comes in both sizes, and this is a fast soft pad, and this pad was the best of them all. This one is an absolute banger. It does not stain from me noticing like the gray one, and it is definitely not too slow. I was playing COD with this at my highest peak skill level. This pad just felt great. This one, again, the base is amazing. The stitching was no issue. I just had zero issues with this pad. The surface felt insane, and I only have a few days testing on this, but I can absolutely recommend it if you're playing a high tracking game. It definitely does. I will say, though, there's not much texture to this pad. It's just super smooth and fast, if that's something you like. But again, I only tested these pads a few days, and The only one I noticed that had any texture was the gray one. The black one just felt like slow and muddy, but kind of smooth at the same time. And then this one just feels super smooth all speed. And as I said, the base is good, the stitching is good, no stains. So I easily can recommend this one, but remember, you should watch a full review if you're watching this in a few weeks when those are out. In terms of pricing, the smaller size will start at 50, and then this size will start at 58 for all the paths. Overall, what I can say is, if you're watching this in a few weeks, you should watch full reviews. But right now, I don't think there are any full reviews. So if you want one of these pads, what I would say is stay away from the storm pad, at least the gray one. The other colors might be good. In terms of the control pad, I will say it is a good all-arounder. It was a good all-rounder pad for control games, and you can, if you really want it, and there's not reviews yet, I can say if you're playing a game like Valorant, you'll probably be fine, but you'll have to take my word for that. But if you want this pad for a high-tracking, fast-paced game where you just need a pad where you can do really fast movements, this is an easy recommend. But again, this is not a review. This is just impressions. So take everything I said. This is a solid pad. The black one's a solid pad, but I would avoid the other one. And that's pretty much it. Thanks for watching.